Hey everyone, Jenny Matthews here. Today in this video I will be talking about how to calm the body. So as you know, when you experience anxiety, there's a lot of really uncomfortable physical sensations that can occur. And these can be really scary, especially to children, because they don't always know what's happening to their body and knowing that it's normal. So this is a really important thing to educate children on, especially if they are going to be facing some of their fears. So this is kind of a whole package piece with facing your fears, is you also want to arm them with some strategies of how to calm themselves, which I know can sound a little bit opposite to what we've been saying all along, which is, be okay with being uncomfortable. Both are true. Kids are going to be so much more likely to face those fears and be on board with that if they know that they're not going to lose control, because they have some tools that are going to help calm themselves down when they need to. So just a little bit about that. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some specific tools that can be really helpful. I'll give you a little calming breath exercise to go through, and some of my favorite apps to use specific to children for helping to relax. So let's talk a little bit about physical symptoms related to anxiety. These, there's so many, and your child may have some or many of them, and you probably already know what they are, but really common ones include sweating and shaking and nausea, stomach aches, even diarrhea. All of these kind of symptoms can create or are a part of anxiety. And in fact, a lot of the times children can think that the physical symptom in itself is the problem. So some of you may really resonate with this, where your child wakes up in the morning and says, I have a stomach ache, I can't go to school. And you know that they're not experiencing, like a fever or like a viral, anything like that. And you know it's anxiety related. The thing that I want to say about that that's really important is you don't want to, I guess you want to be careful with what you say about that, because in our culture, it's really common for people to really blow off those physical symptoms and say something like, it's all in your head, or you're not really sick. And this can really create a wedge between you and your child. They, can then feel like you don't really understand how much their anxiety is affecting them, and that you don't understand really what's going on. So it's really important to recognize that even though it's a physical symptom caused by anxiety, it's still a physical symptom, and it's okay, and it's good to honor that. What you can say is, you're right, something is really wrong. Your alarm system is sending off all of these chemicals and making your body feel ill. That's what anxiety does. So you can really kind of help, assure them that you understand what's going on. They may disagree with you, because sometimes that just happens. I've seen it quite a bit. Another thing is important about the physical piece is that it can be really common for children and for parents to want to eliminate that physical symptom through the use of some over-the-counter medications. This is, it's okay, but I don't like it, because what happens is, if it works, the child then gives the credit to, that pill or, medicine, whatever they took, rather than working through addressing that pattern on their own. So again, it's kind of just one of those crutches. So not really a great tactic. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about relaxation. This is important in a couple of ways I'll talk about in a minute. But it's important to know that relaxation in and of itself is not going to reduce anxiety. it is part of the whole package with, facing your fears, with changing the way you think, all of that. So you can't decide like, oh, I'm just going to do deep breathing and that's what's going to get me through. It just doesn't work that way. So, however, it can help because as you are still moving forward in your life with things that make you anxious, taking a pause to, use a relaxation will help you to feel relaxed. And if you've struggled with anxiety, you know that is hard to do. Your muscles might feel really tight, or you just feel really uncomfortable because of those symptoms. And so a quick relaxation exercise can just help you to regain that feeling. Secondly, it is helpful because when you are in that fight or flight response, right, that those alarm bells are going off, your ability to think rationally and clearly and know that you are know that you're using like irrational thinking is hard to do and nearly impossible. So what's really important is to be able to take that break, to use some calming strategies, and then usually you're able to step away and go, okay, yeah, I get what's going on here. That's a really unhelpful thought. I'm not thinking about it in the best way. I'm going to try this instead. So it just helps give your brain a chance to kind of reshift a little bit. So those are a couple of the big benefits. I will walk you through just a really brief, easy way to do a calm breath, and then I'll share with you some of my favorite apps as well. So a calming breath just starts with, I like to tell people when they're just first learning, is kind of put one hand on your chest and one on your belly. And you're going to take in a deep breath in through your nose. And you're going to just feel, what you should feel is your stomach expand, kind of like you're filling up a balloon. And then you're going to exhale slowly, and it can help to say something on that exhale like calm. You can choose a different breath or a different word too, but saying calm can be helpful. So you do that, and then just be with that for a moment. And you can repeat that a few times if you'd like, or you can just resume with what you were doing. Really quick, really simple. You can do it anywhere. Nobody even really needs to know that you're doing it. A few things that I really like. I always like to encourage my clients to use apps. There's so many out there, and there's so many good ones. So because it's not, relaxation and learning how to relax and breathe and all that is not like just, common nature for people. It's helpful to start with like an app or getting some kind of guidance so that you can then learn how that works. So a couple apps that I like, one's called Stop, Breathe, Think, and there's one that's available for kids and one for teens and adults. So it is free. I really like that one. There is another app called Mind Shift. I love that one. It's very cognitive behavioral based, incorporates, thinking, actions, and relaxation all together. Also free. And then another one that I like, it's not an app, at least yet, that I know of, but you can get it off iTunes and just like a downloadable CD, I guess, it tracks. It's called I Can Relax, and they're really brief, short, kid-friendly relaxation exercises. So I highly recommend those. Okay, that is kind of my overview of everything about calming the body. So something to take away today that I want you to think about is how your family thinks about those physical symptoms. Does your family think that those physical symptoms are all in your head? Do they think, that's just normal part of anxiety? How does your family think about it? How do they talk about it? I want you to just give that a little bit of thought. I would like for you parents to be able to practice some breathing frequently. If your child is willing to do it with you, awesome. If not, please do it anyway and talk about it out loud. So many times parents will say, that their child's not willing to do it and things like that. That's okay. Start with you. they will, they can lead by example, or you can lead by example. So go ahead and just start, little breaks in the day, take a moment to take a deep breath, explain, explain that you're doing that. Talk about the physical symptoms you might be experiencing. Like, oh, I could feel my heart racing before we went to, Aunt Jan's, and I just took a moment, took some deep breaths, and it actually really worked. Explaining your successes is really cool to do too with your children. So again, just lead by example, and eventually they will follow through too. Okay, everybody, that's it for this video. Thank you so much. Again, if you have any questions, comments, please post them below, and I would be happy to respond. Have a great day, everyone.